Okay, my name is Marian Keyes and I'm the Senior Executive Librarian here at the Lexicon. And the Lexicon has been open for just over 2 years now, so we've been trying all sorts of things in all sorts of places, in spaces here. And this was a first for us, having an exhibition and a conference on the theme of medicine and psychiatry and mental health and the written word. This is a topic that's really close to me because I trained as a nurse initially and I worked as a nurse for about 10 years. Then I went into the whole area of art history, and in fact one of my dissertations was on the doctor as portrayed in art. So this was, for me, something quite personal where I could bring a lot of those interests together in the one day and find out what's happening today.
My name's Rossiter. I'm a committee member amongst Refocus Ireland. We're in conjunction with the College of Psychiatry and service users and carers, trying to combine efforts into changing attitudes and concept of how care should be done amongst psychiatry. I was brought here as one of the speakers for one of the areas dealing with, service users and carers and our emotional ties to literature, whether it's writing or reading. Myself, I enjoy writing. I think it's one of the great focal points of, releasing thoughts and my own concepts of how I feel and my emotions.
I'm Anne Jeffers. I'm a psychiatrist, and I'm joint chair of a group in the College of Psychiatrists called Refocus. This is a group made up of people who have had experience of severe illnesses and family members of people with illnesses. We were asked to speak at the conference, so it had a great effect of encouraging us all to really think about literature and mental health. And many of our members have already written either their own memoirs or poetry or some of their own ideas. But for me as a psychiatrist, it was just fabulous to hear the link between literature and medicine, and I just thoroughly enjoyed the day.
I'm a psychotherapist, so I'm very interested in the whole area, obviously, of mental health. And I was very interested in the title of the conference today and in the keynote speakers whom I read up about, so I was keen to hear them and to meet other people who were interested in the whole area. So it's been great meeting different people and networking with others, and I feel I've got loads out of it.
So I'm Femi Oyebode. I'm a psychiatrist working in Birmingham, and it's been a great pleasure and delight to come and spend the whole day. And yes, I was a particular highlight for me was Sally Shuttleworth's presentation at the end, and but I also enjoyed Melissa Dixon's presentation. And Melissa's presentation, I found it very interesting because of the focus on an instrument and using that instrument as a kind of entry point into thinking about how literature, the collision between, I suppose you might say, the history of medicine and the literature and medicine, the practice of medicine itself. And from a doctor's point of view, as a young 19, 18-year-old going into medical school, the stethoscope is such a significant, incredible symbol of being a doctor. So that it was just interesting to hear her speak about that and to suddenly realize that it also featured in literature.
So I'm Dr. Clare Hayes-Brady. I'm a lecturer in American literature at University College Dublin. What attracted me to the conference was its interdisciplinarity and getting to talk to medical practitioners about well-being and mental health in narrative, not just in literature but in histories and in case histories and so on. It's been an absolutely fascinating day. I'm dying to see another iteration of this. I really hope it becomes an annual event, and would love to see colleagues from the humanities getting involved and talking to practitioners. Huge congratulations to all involved. It's been really, really interesting.
Loved the presentation on stethoscopes and the place in literature and how it's described over the years. And I think it's still, as a psychiatrist, we very rarely use the stethoscope, and we might actually take it out sometimes to check blood pressure. And it's really interesting, and a few patients have said it to me, and they say, "Oh, we forget you're a real doctor as well." So, that was exactly the point that came across, that when the stethoscope was introduced, some people saw it taking away from that whole narrative, but for others, it was kind of an authenticity that they were using the instrumentation and made them real doctors. So it was very interesting.
Well, I think I'll think more about the literature in relation to the case studies and how one influences the other in a sense. And I do a lot more reading of even the novels of the Mill on the Floss and other novels other books that were mentioned today.
I didn't get to every workshop, unfortunately, but I thought that the two keynotes that I did see came from very different angles, but approached in very good faith, which was one of the kind of my anxieties about the conference. It can be difficult to get people from different disciplines talking meaningfully, and I really felt I was very impressed with Professor Shanahan's reading of Joyce, so well done on that, and Professor Shuttleworth's engagement with case history as narrative. I thought was just so interesting. I'm not a Victorianist, and it was so engaging. And the breakout session that I was in talked about quantitative and qualitative data and how really to work with bibliotherapy in the community in creative ways and really open to cross-disciplinary cooperation, which is so great to see. And I think the positivity and the openness to work was probably the best thing that I saw today.
The thing that I will take away from this is the human part of it, the concepts that psychiatry is trying to find other focal points to look at when it comes to care or understanding care and the patients around them. It's not just tick the box and see what happens or go along with the sort of like a textbook type of concept. They're trying to look at not just the past histories, but current writing styles and how it's developed into the conversation of mental health.
So I'm Dr. Clare Hayes-Brady. I'm a lecturer in American literature at University College Dublin. What attracted me to the conference was its interdisciplinarity and getting to talk to medical practitioners about well-being and mental health in narrative, not just in literature, but in histories and in case histories and so on. It's been an absolutely fascinating day. I'm dying to see another iteration of this. I really hope it becomes an annual event, and would love to see colleagues from the humanities getting involved and talking to practitioners. Huge congratulations to all involved. It's been really, really interesting.
It was a great pleasure working with Liz and with Melissa and just the different partnerships on this, and for something quite radically new for us. We've often done things to do with the book. We have the Mountains to Sea Book Festival, which is on in 2 weeks' time. We've got major authors come to the Lexicon. We had Richard Dawkins here last year, Margaret Atwood, Margaret Drabble. We do attract a lot of the major authors. They like coming to Dún Laoghaire. So this was a chance to look at it from a different perspective and to look at bibliotherapy, which is something that has been popular in public libraries for the last 10 years at least. We have books on various topics, and we had a session today. I'm very involved with the other Dublin authorities on this HEAL project, which is health education and libraries. And it's all to do with finding the right book for the right person at the right time. So we're working on that project. So this synergy came together at the same time. So Liz got in touch with me while we were developing this HEAL project. So we're thrilled to have this happening here in the Lexicon. We hope it will be the beginning of many future partnerships, and it's been a great pleasure to be part of it all. So thank you very much.